There you go. Welcome to our Tax Savings Tuesday. Before anything else, I'm Christopher. We're going to have sound check. Okay, there you go. It's working. All right. So a few days from now, actually, to be specific, it's going to be April 17. The deadline for filing taxes will be due. So before anything else, we would like to give you more on the top 10 tax savings tips. Okay, I have to share my screen. All right, there you go. Again, I'm Christopher, IRS acceptance agent, tax professional with more than okay, yeah, with more than 11 years of tax preparation experience, also with the bookkeeping. So now we're get, getting started because the last time we had an issue, I've been presenting for more than 10 minutes and there's no audio, so I want to make sure that. Okay, there you go. So welcome to Wyco Tax Top 10 Tax Savings and Bookkeeping Tips for Non-Accounting Business Owners, together with the bonus presentation with the ERC payroll refund. So this is a silent tax refund that not everybody, or tax credits that not everybody has been explored yet. Our webinar agenda, the webinar will only last for less than 30 minutes. Q&A session will be answered after the presentations. Please type your questions, and then if you want to download the free tax and bookkeeping checklist, it's on our website, www.wycotax.com. Be part of our gift card raffle because there's a replay. You just subscribe on my channel, Chris White Coco. All right, how I started. I started from Philippines with a dream to be my family. They wanted me to be a nurse because this is an easy passport to get here in the US. And also, I have a twin brother on the right side. That's one of my inspirations why we would like to have our own business because it's more than the financial freedom. It's giving us time freedom to visit the Philippines, but at the same time to work because a lot of our services are virtual now, 90%. That's why it's two birds in one stone. That's why how did I get here? The hospital petitioned me here in Brownsville, Texas, to be an operating room nurse. But after that, I do presentation after 2 p.m. of my shift. Then one of the attendees is an accountant, and he said, "You know what? 2011, I remember that. Chris, you could actually have your own tax company." And 2011, I never looked back. 2000 from 2011, I've been practicing preparing taxes for LLCs, S corporations, C corporation, high income individuals. Then in return, we provide free education. And this is one of the educations we're providing from business, life, and tax savings tips. So 2015, the company was born. We are an all year round, all in one tax payroll bookkeeping service solution. That's YCO Tax with more than 30 years of combined experience. Through our entire entrepreneurship career, we had been become the business person of the year here, is small business person of the year in Texas, Lower Rio Grande Valley. That was last year. We are an IRS certified acceptance agent, QuickBooks certified for the bookkeeping, and also with the U.S. Senate and a special congressional recognition. Now, I'm also a life and health insurance agent. To know more about that, check our publications and connect with me on our different social media platforms through LinkedIn. I've said we have YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. For the disclaimer, this material has been prepared for informational purposes only. It is not intended to provide and should not be relied on for tax, legal, or accounting advice. Examples and other materials in this webinar are only for illustrative purpose only and should not be relied upon technical answers. Wycotax is a virtual outsourced tax and bookkeeping company. We are not associated in any institution on this presentation and is a private-based business providing resources for small businesses. If you're tired of doing it yourself, let's examine this presentation are meant for a small business owner type. If you are any of this, you should listen all the way to the end. Self-employed, because we have one-time offer. Receive 1099s, have an S corporations, LLCs, and partnerships with or without employees, e-commerce, non-accountants, high-income professionals making more than $80,000 a year. Because for 2022, if you're using Schedule C, the 2022 is the IRS tsunami of audits. IRS is hiring 87,000 new agents to audit small business owners. So you need to avoid the trial and error approach that will cause IRS red flags, which paralyzes your business. Let's examine this client of ours, Gloria. She has a business. She owns a clinic, but she's trying to get more funding resources for expanding, maybe working capital. Then what are the things that she needs to keep in mind related to her financial documents? So that's why are her books and tax records up to date? Any type of expansion or growth on your company, there are only two major financial documents. Number one is your financial statements, which consists of your balance sheet, profit and loss, and cash flow. And number two is your tax return. So all of this should always be up to date, even every quarter or every 6 months would do. So that's why we are giving you the word accountant, ACCOUNTANT. These are the tips. We're going to use the accountant as our top 10 tips. First is letter A, you need to avoid mixture of accounts. When I say mixture of accounts, uh, whenever you have a business, try to have a business checking account, or if you're comfortable using credit card, try to add a business checking and credit card business account that's separate from your personal. Because I mean, if the IRS wants to take your business deduction seriously, you need to take your business seriously as well. That's why it's so easy. You apply for a business, LLC, whether whatever it is, get an EIN number. So what's going to happen? You have a separate tracking on your business expenses and income together with the credit card. The good thing about the credit card, it gives you points, and that points can be utilized for other business trips. So that's why. But if you're not comfortable having one credit card, and so be it, you can use your checking account. That's why I do normally suggest to have one checking and one credit card for your business. Next, letter C, you have to cut back on manual reporting. Who among you here, if you still have shoe boxes on your house, that's the thing in the past, any receipts that you're using for the business, like for example, and you go to Walmart or gas stations, that it's a general store, you need to keep your receipts. Why? Because at this point, instead of using shoe boxes, you can download a receipt tracker. Again, it's a receipt tracker. If you have an Android or if you have an Apple, just type receipt tracker. Most of them are integrated on QuickBooks. So what's going to happen, any receipts that you collect, take a picture every month, it's going to be submitted to your tax professional or whoever's doing your bookkeeping. So therefore, it's so easy, paperless. And then the thing is, it saves the record. Because the problem with physical receipts, they fade away. The numbers fade away. I did work with an auditor, like what happened to Gloria, one of our clients. She got audited on her restaurants, and what happened? It's for the past. The audits are open for 3 years and more. Okay, so if you have your receipts on your shoe boxes, what's gonna happen? After 3 years, all those numbers are gone, and you will lose the audit because they cannot see anything on that receipts. That's why another thing that you want to automate is your mileage recording. There's a mileage tracker that you can download on your phone, and that will easily can be integrated also on the QuickBooks that you're using. Okay, next C, count with experience. And there you go. So whenever I have a problem with my digital marketing, I don't handle it because I know that the fees associated of me doing it, or the fees hiring an amateur, is more costly than hiring a professional, because a professional has been practicing for the past 10, 15 years, and they will talk to you and give you a solution in less than an hour or more. Compare with somebody that's also just barely graduated, and then they don't have their own portfolio yet with their practice. I don't want to be led. It's like blind leading the blind. Again, it's gonna create another trial and error situation. That's why counting with experience is one thing. If I need a lawyer, I have a lawyer, experienced SBA lender, and also any digital marketer or something, because you want to build your company in a solid foundation, not in a sand where everything can break because you're hiring a part-time. Okay, next is open and check the accounts. This what we meant by this is you need to have a one-time passcode, or any when you have a bank account, make sure that you can be notified for any transaction, even if it's a credit card. Like me, I got notification if I will allow it or not, if I dispute it or not, through my credit card and to my also to my checking account or Wells Fargo, because that will help us to really track our expenses, because it's very important to not just increase our income but also cut our expenses by maybe monitoring once every month or maybe every quarter any subscriptions that you are no longer using, that you already downgraded but you're still being charged. So it happened to us before. So that's the reason why it's important to set it up, download the app, and then connect it to your phone. Okay. So you will always be notified for any transactions. And that's the reason, going back again, when you're checking this, when having a credit card, it's easy to dispute if it's unauthorized. And then utilize every deduction. There are two things that are underutilized by businesses, people using Schedule Cs. The number one is work from home, the home office deduction. They're not utilizing that, or maybe they're using it but they don't know how to use the deductions. And number two is the use of the car, the mileage worksheet. If you have a one car, you need to be separating the portion of the use for the business. So another thing is the business travel. If there are other, let's say you go, let's say for example, my friend, I'm gonna attend her baptismal. I want to make sure if I go there, I have business to do also. Maybe attending chamber event or SBA or any meeting with the Economic Development Corporation of that city for my future project of expansion. So those are just the things that you can utilize, because anything can be classified as business from personal expenses as long as it is directly involving on activities for your business. Or maybe you go to California, you're trying to, or maybe Houston, if you have a restaurant, you would like to get more supplies from different stores. It could be in the Asian market that you'd like to get all your ingredients there. So those are the things that can be considered as business, but at the same time you can enjoy it. Okay, next you need to have payroll accuracy. So for the payroll, this is not suggested for everybody. Uh, Eventually, you have to stop using an owner's withdrawal. Somehow, you need to put yourself on payroll. But in able to set this up right, you need to consult that, because we also do payroll. So this is when you're already having a net profit of $50,000 and up. When we say net profit, this is not the gross income. When you make 150,000, then your expenses is only 100,000, your take home is 50,000, then that's the time ideally that you could be on payroll. But if you're not making money yet, you're like break even, it's not ideal to put yourself on payroll. Because why? When you pay yourself using a payroll or W2, at the end of the year, those are business expense because you become an employee of your own company. However, do not do it without consulting any tax professional. It's not directly applied to anybody. Okay. So if you want to know more, just consult us. Next, tax savings benefits. The When we say tax savings benefits, it's like parking your money to any tax later or tax never account. Those are terms in there could be insurance, annuities, 401ks, IRA. So these are the different tax sheltered accounts. It could be a tax later or tax never, but you need to really have a financial planner or maybe a tax planner to do this, because these are the things that minimizes your taxes every year but putting more money on your retirement. Does it make sense? Okay. And a lot of people, what they're doing is putting so many expenses in a year that they end up being negative 300,000. They're making 1 million, but their expenses 1.3 million because they felt like, oh, we put more expenses, we don't pay taxes. I mean, that's a double-edged sword. When you put more expenses, you're limiting your capability to borrow money, to expand, to get more businesses and investors to your company. So there are other means of cutting or minimizing the taxes. That's the reason why you heard a lot of millionaires or wealthy population pay up to zero taxes because of this tax sheltered accounts. If you want to know more, we also offer this. Then number three, all tax forms will be needed. There are two major forms that never ever forget, because this will trigger an audit. Two major forms are W-2s and 1099s. Again, W-2s and 1099s should always be reported. All right. Now, those are because they are automatically having a copy to the IRS. When you miss, if you have 10 W-2s, another 5 1099s, they need to see at least 15 tax forms on your tax return. Okay. If you miss that, it's an automatic audit. I'm telling you, less than 2 years, you will receive a letter of unreported income. Then number two, neat and organized records. Whenever we say that, we normally suggest if you're still manually doing your income and expenses, try to do an Excel. But for me, if you have a budget to afford QuickBooks Online, why not? Because it your credit card, your bank account, your mileage can be integrated to QuickBooks Online. So that's the reason why we recommended online, because you can check it anywhere you want. If you go to California, you go to New York, and then you want to check your financials just for a quick view, you want to pay vendors or any contractors that you have, you can easily log in and settle those fee bills. So that's why QuickBooks I really suggest, and then they also provide you a profit and loss balance sheet statement. For me, it's very convenient, and sometimes time is money. If everything can be automated and integrated, the more that you could save. Then lastly, top priority reports. We're talking about the top priority reports for 1040s and C Corporation. The deadline will be April 17. For the partnership and 1120S, or the S Corporation, the deadline was past due already on March 15. But just a reminder, the top priority reports, you can file an extension prior to April 17, but at the same time, you need to settle any tax. You need to make advance tax payment. So let's say Gloria has 70,000 of tax liability last year. She needs to advance that payment. Even she doesn't know the exact amount, how much taxes she's going to pay this year. She still has to make that 70,000 deposit before April 15, once you file your extension together with that tax payment. All right, so we're moving on. We're going to go over with an ERC, just a rundown. The employee retention credit, this is based on the W-2, the employees that you're paying. The IRS is giving up to 26,000 per employee. So let's say you have 10 employees, that's 260,000. Now, there are two main eligibility tests. You need, number one, you don't need to really have both. You can be one or the other. There should be a significant decline of sales from 50% to 20% between 2019 to 2021. Okay, so that's just a snapshot. And number two, that you have a full or partial suspension on your company and able to claim the employee retention credit for each employee. Now there is a deadline. There's going to be, I think, July 31. This is going to pace out anytime soon. That's why if you're not heard about this, or if you haven't done this before, consult us, because we've been doing this for our clients already. All right, so if you want to connect, we have tried to build your accounting to your own QuickBooks software. We are affiliated. Just go to our YouTube, you will find our QuickBooks. And then we are also have affiliated with Legal Shield. If you have parking ticket, you have questions about legal matters, reviewing the contracts, employee, employer, contractor agreement, all of these are on the Legal Shield. That's why this is our one-time offer. Thank you for waiting. We can bundle your tax and bookkeeping for 2022. This will include the all-year tax and email support, and the most important is the 3-year audit assistance for free. If ever they audit your 2022 Schedule C income and expenses, we're the one handling the audit for you. Yeah, because we prepare your books, and then we also going to file your tax return. So that's why these are more of our services. We have an accounting service and the bookkeeping. Just take a look at this and watch on your own time. Now, the by benefits of outsourcing, it gives you peace of mind, save headaches, save time. But most importantly, what really helped a lot of business during COVID is faster access to grants and loans. Then why WICO Tax? We are a worry-free, year-round, competitive, and on-time tax payroll bookkeeping service solution here in United States. Check our reviews. That's why choose your battle. Do you want to have this estimates because you're saving? You don't want to hire a bookkeeper or but tax professional, but this is bound to be audited by the IRS, or you want this as clean as this one, a month-to-month expense income reporting. That's why it's either you work in your business or you have to work on your business, which experience you want to have on the next months. Because according to Steve Jobs, great things are never done in by one person. They are done by the team of people. Thank you again. Check our certifications or awards online. Thank you for listening. That's why any type of questions, feel free to reach to us. And I have to stop sharing. Okay. There you go. Thank you guys for watching. Again, I'm Christopher. Any further questions, we are here to help you. Hopefully, enjoy your Tuesday because this is a tax savings Tuesday.